Mercedes-Benz Vision EQXX Concept First Drive Review, Sampling the Future. The Mercedes Vision EQXX concept makes all drivers efficient and the impossible possible. Did not win the efficiency contest here in Mendingen, Germany, home of the sprawling test center of Mercedes-Benz. Even though I had a handicap, the supremely slippery Mercedes-Benz Vision EQXX, a drivable concept car that can travel more than 1,200 kilometers, 745 miles, on a single charge. The problem was not the car, it was me. I could not help busting out of the recommended conservative driving habits to gun it when the speed limits on the handling course allowed, which hurt my score, as did the need for manual braking when a speed limit was momentarily exceeded, prompting a warning. The benchmark was 7.9 miles per kilowatt-hour. I recorded only 6.4 kilowatt-hours of average consumption over the 10-mile course. On the plus side, after each burst of acceleration, I used the most aggressive of the 4 settings for regenerative braking and racked up more than 3 times the extra energy and range of the benchmark driver. Which is to say, the beauty of the EQXX is that it can be fun, with a mighty torque pull, as well as efficient. I still recorded a single-digit consumption figure, so best of both worlds. Motor Trend logo. Search. News. Reviews. Buyer's Guide. Watch. Features. The future. Mercedes-Benz Vision EQXX Concept First Drive Review, Sampling the Future. The Mercedes Vision EQXX concept makes all drivers efficient and the impossible possible. Elisa Prito Writer Manufacturer Photographer Joel 24, 2022. EQXX Drive Top. I did not win the efficiency contest here in Mendingen, Germany, home of the sprawling test center of Mercedes-Benz. Even though I had a handicap, the supremely slippery Mercedes-Benz Vision EQXX, a drivable concept car that can travel more than 1,200 kilometers, 745 miles, on a single charge. The problem was not the car, it was me. I could not help busting out of the recommended conservative driving habits to gun it when the speed limits on the handling course allowed, which hurt my score, as did the need for manual braking when a speed limit was momentarily exceeded, prompting a warning. The benchmark was 7.9 miles per kilowatt-hour. I recorded only 6.4 kilowatt-hours of average consumption over the 10-mile course. On the plus side, after each burst of acceleration, I used the most aggressive of the 4 settings for regenerative braking and racked up more than 3 times the extra energy and range of the benchmark driver. Which is to say, the beauty of the EQXX is that it can be fun, with a mighty torque pull, as well as efficient. I still recorded a single-digit consumption figure, so best of both worlds. And that is good because this vision concept is the future of Mercedes-EVs. The learnings and stylings will show up in new vehicles coming in 2025 and beyond from the new Mercedes Modular Architecture or MMA. The EQXX is a street-legal prototype and the only one of its kind in the world. At 110.2 inches, it is a compact car, roughly the same wheelbase as the Mercedes-Benz EQB. Its impressive range, beating the Lucid Air Grand Touring's 516 miles and the Tesla Model S long range at 405 miles per EPA, is attributable to a number of factors. The EQXX has a 100 kWh battery pack, similar to the one in the Mercedes-Benz EQS large sedan, but in the EQXX concept the unit is half the size and weighs 30% less. The cells are packaged differently and it has a carbon fiber top cover. The anodes use more silicon and hold more energy. While the rest of the Mercedes EV lineup have a 400-volt system, and some competitors have 800 volts, the EQXX system is more than 900 volt. Stumbling onto the teardrop shape. The design team came up with the car's teardrop shape with the rear track 2 inches narrower than the front, a tapered cabin, and a long tail with an active diffuser which extends almost 8 inches. We didn't set out to create this shape, we found it, Malt Sievers, project manager for the Vision EQXX tells us. The result, a claimed drag coefficient of 0.17, more streamlined than a football, making the EQXX the most efficient model Mercedes, or perhaps anyone, has built. It could become a car for the ages as 0.17 will be hard to beat. Physics is physics, says Sievers. And this slippery missile could never be built if it had to accommodate an internal combustion engine. The whole thing falls apart, he says. It shows the capability EVs brings to the industry. Engineers say 62% of the EQXX's efficiency is from aerodynamics, meaning every change to aero affects everything else by 62%. You can make changes to rolling resistance, for example, but your efforts will never impact more than 20% of the total efficiency. And everything else amounts to an 18% impact. The team looked at every part to see if it was necessary and if so, how to make it light, efficient, and not heat up. The cooling plate underneath allows the car to be cooled by airflow and the overall efficiency means there is little to cool. The summation of all the engineering efforts is a car where 95% of the energy sent from the battery makes its way to the wheels. For reference, the EQS sends 90% of its energy to the wheel well, which means the team had to make the EQXX twice as efficient. First outsiders to drive the Mercedes-Benz EQXX. We were part of a media program that let non-Mercedes people drive the Vision EQXX for the first time. To date, only Mercedes employees have put it through its paces. That includes 2 road trips, the first April 5th from Singelfingen, Germany, to Cassis in northern Italy, 1,008 kilometers, 626 miles, and using 8.7 kWh/100 kilometers or 7.1 miles per kilowatt-hour. With 140 kilometers, 87 miles, left at the finish. The second run, June 21st to 22nd, was from Stuttgart to Silverstone in France, a distance of 1,202 kilometers, 747 miles, in summer heat requiring the air conditioning to run for 11 hours. Average consumption was 8.3 kWh/100 kilometers or 7.5 miles, kWh, and it included 11 laps on the track when the car reached Silverstone to empty the remaining energy. To work out the bugs, the team created a test mule by squeezing the 100 kilowatt battery, DC/DC converter and DC charging controls, battery management system, other aspects of the EQXX powertrain, as well as testing equipment, into a Mercedes-Benz EQB. The mule is known as EMMA, the MMA for Mercedes Modular Architecture. EMMA made the Sindelfingen to Cassis trip first in a test run with its share of breakdowns, a learning curve that proved to be a total success as the EQXX did not have a single mishap in either of its long-distance tests. We drove EMMA, who was a little clunky as the suspension was not adapted for the weighty equipment added or the fact that most of it bears down on the rear axle, throwing off the balance. Then we hopped in the EQXX, which was much quieter, balanced, nimble, and downright supple by comparison, riding on ultralight 20-inch forged magnesium wheels with Bridgestone Turanza tires that are also lightweight and have ultra-low rolling resistance. The car cornered nice and flat, the suspension was not challenged by the course, but neither did it stumble, attempting the impossible. The EQXX prototype was pulled together in 18 months, a project launched with a request in June 2020 from the Board of Management to build an electric vehicle capable of driving 1,000 kilometers, 621 miles, on a single charge. Almost all the teams involved worked to achieve the seemingly impossible target of 10 kWh/100 kilometers, Sievers said. The car relied on expertise from Mercedes Formula One and Formula E race engineering groups as well as the research department and production development team. There are 117 heavy solar panels on the roof that send energy into a 12-volt system that powers many of the car's ancillaries, which equates to a roughly 25-kilometer, 15-mile, bump in range. Engineers say the energy gains from the panels are greater than the losses due to the extra weight. You cannot see out the glass of the back window, nor are there cameras for the rear-view mirror, they would consume too much energy. It all adds up to a highly efficient EQXX that exceeded the mandate. Loving the luxury interior. The beautiful navy and white interior of the EQXX is serene and modern without looking too sci-fi or clinically cold, with sustainable vegan materials that look high-end. There are 47.5 inches of curved OLED screen, perfect for using the real-time 3D navigation display, but only when absolutely necessary. The mini LEDs that backlight and dim the screen make for crackling crisp graphics. Dimming zones save power by not illuminating the parts of the screen not in use. There is zero energy consumption when the LEDs shut themselves off. Mercedes provides eco-guidance. The car knows the route conditions of the trip programmed into the nav system and tells the driver to speed up or slow down to be more efficient. The driver can look at data to show energy usage, solar energy produced, air pressure and wind direction, and forecast how much energy the trip will require. Almost ready for production is an intelligent avatar to suggest movies to watch or restaurants to stop at, saving the driver from scrolling through menus on the screen and using energy. "They are tools I clearly need," said the engineer who tried to keep a straight face as he analyzed the data spikes in my EQXX run. "I think you had fun." Then he confirmed Mercedes would not be hiring me anytime soon for their EV testing.